Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show. Ba-ding!
Here we go again.
So today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about those guys, or those people, those women, whoever they might be, that their pipes on their motorcycles are so freaking loud your brains rattle. So stay tuned. Are you one of those people?
Not me. I like loud pipes, but not that loud.
So today we're going to talk about loud exhaust. You know, we've been actually at about, what are we at, 5 rallies we've already hit out this year already. And we hear the same complaints a lot of times when we're sitting there watching down, Main Street there in Daytona. Or if you're sitting at the Iron Horse and bikes are rolling through there in Daytona. Or you're out there in Panama City and you just hear the bikes riding up and down the street. There's that guy in front of you. The pipes are so loud. We just got out of... Just got out of Myrtle Beach, and same thing there. It was like you could hear these guys just revving up their bikes so loud that the windows would rattle. And people are holding their ears and all that. That's a question for today. Why do you do it? Why are your pipes so freaking loud that, it rattles other people's brains? I'm okay with loud pipes. You need to have a little bit louder pipe to let people know you're out there. You don't want that car to run over you, or you want to get somebody's attention. You want to rev it up there to get them from not pulling out in front of you or coming over in and hitting you.
Yeah, that happened to me. And one of our subscribers, they wanted to know, is that a form of bullying? Are they bullying all the other bikers that don't have pipes as loud as theirs, saying mine's louder than yours? I don't know.
And have you ever been? We used to ride in a hog group all the time. Right now we're not doing it because we're doing all this so much. That, nobody wanted to ride behind that guy that had the pipes that were so freaking loud. It's one thing to have loud pipes. It's another thing that it's so loud that it's, you're kind of a nuisance. Just right there in Myrtle Beach. They hate motorcycles. But down there on Main Street, a guy got a ticket for $249 for having his pipes too loud. So, you always have that issue, too, with tickets and things like that. If you've got one of those bikes and your bike's so freaking loud, have you ever gotten a ticket? Have you gotten a warning? Have they made you change your pipes out? There's a question. Can you answer that? Put it down there in the comments.
We want to know.
Yeah. And our daughter lives over there in Huntington Beach in California. They actually sit out there with a decibel meter and catch the bikes riding down the PCH. And they write tickets there. So a lot of these states are starting to have, a lot of cities have some kind of ordinances for noise pollution. That's what they call it. So what's your thoughts on this? What do you think about it? Do you think that there shouldn't be any? Are you okay with having that pipe, having straight pipes on your bike? We just heard one the other day at a burnout pit, which you'll be seeing soon. The guy had a 4-cylinder, and it was loud. You couldn't even hold your ears, it was so loud. I understand in that case, he's revving it up, he's doing a burnout. It's a whole different story than what we're talking about today. This is more talking about people that's just riding down the street or, things like that. There was a guy in Nashville when we were there. We went out on a ride, and the guy in front of us just constantly kept revving up his bike. Even when he was making the turn, he was revving it up. I guess he was pulling the clutch in and out, which almost caused me to run into the back of him because he was doing it. So there's my other question, which is kind of like with loud exhaust. What are you sitting there at the stop sign or the stoplight and you keep revving your bike up constantly for? What are you doing? What are you trying to prove? Is your bike idling that bad, or is it running that rich or lean that you need to keep it idling that much? Or the guy that's out there that he starts his bike up after it's cold and he cranks it like full throttle. You're actually doing some damage to your bike. You got to have some back pressure on that engine when it comes to your exhaust. Straight pipes can actually cause more damage to a bike than it is. And if you're okay with constantly redoing your bike and burning up the valves and having those
spending
redone,
lots of money.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that if you got that money. But, a lot of people don't realize that. I used to work on cars, and that was one of the things you had to watch with running the exhaust, taking off things, stopping the back pressure that the motor needs to have to run properly. So, what do you think about that? Are you one of those guys, or are you thinking about doing something like that? And what do you think?
Or if you're not, what do you think about the loud pipes of other people's bikes? Write it down there in the comments.
So that's what the video is all about today. We just want to know what you think about loud pipes. And I'm talking about excessively loud. I'm not talking about if you go out there and you get some Screaming Eagle pipes, or you get some Van Hines pipes put on there, and you're still, you're running with regular mufflers and things. And some of those can get loud, but they're not as excessively as some of these bikes that we've been hearing here lately.
Ear piercing loud.
Yeah. And so what do you think? Is there an issue going on? If you're one of those people that have the pipes that are so freaking loud that you know you're proud of that. You're proud that you've got a big loud bike. But you got to think about it. You know, especially if you're, whatever bike you've got, it's a Harley, it's a Honda, it's a Kawasaki, whatever you might have, and you're making it loud, a Triumph, whatever you might have that you've done all this performance work on and you've got it super loud. You know, there's probably somebody out there that has the exact same motor that you've got and can make it sound exactly the same. So it's not like you're doing something that is...
no one else can do.
Yeah. You know, I used to do a lot of this stuff when I was 16 to 18 years old. You know, I had my car all jacked up. We had glass packs on it, got headers on it, you know, and I kind of grew out of that. And the bikes I've always had mufflers on them. We've never really ran straight pipes. She had a 1200 Sportster. It was a little loud, but it came that way. But I mean, it wasn't so loud that, you know, I couldn't ride behind her. But I mean, I've been behind motorcycles that are so freaking loud going down, you know, going up a hill or whatever they might be doing, and you can't even hear your own radio because they're so loud. So, you know, what do you think? That's all we're going to talk about today is what do you think about the loud pipe? Is there a decibel level that is extreme? That's too much? Or is it like, too bad, who cares? You're just whining about having, you know, your bike isn't that loud. You know, and I can make it that loud. You know, that's the whole point about all of this when you're looking at pipes and making bike loud or not so loud or medium or whatever you want to be. Anybody out there can do exactly what you're doing. He can be just as loud as you are or just as quiet as you are or anywhere in the middle. So you're not doing anything unique to say that, hey, you know, I'm special because I can make my bike run at, you know, 800 decibels and people go deaf around me. You know, but I mean, is that something you're proud of? Is that
and if your pipes are that loud, how is your hearing? Does that affect your hearing? Do you wear earplugs? I don't know. I would think it would be hard to ride, but maybe you can't hear it as much if you're on the bike versus the people behind you. I don't know.
So that's where we're going to kind of leave it at. So that's the two questions we have. Do you have the super loud pipes and why do you have them so loud? Once again, not talking about you just want to make it loud enough to make sure cars don't hit you, things like that. We've got Screaming Eagles on the pipes we have now. I took the converter out. It's got a pretty good rumble to it. But I mean, we're still able to hear the factory radio when we're driving down the road.
Loud pipes save lives.
That's right. So we're not saying not to, you know, leave stock pipes on there. But we're talking about these bikes that are so decibelly high that you can actually damage somebody's hearing with this. Or maybe your own if you're riding your bike. If you're sitting in there or idling the stop sign, you're cranking it up. So that's the second question. If you're one of those guys or girls that are at the stop sign and you're stoplight and you're revving it up, you know, I can see it with a bunch of buddies and you're doing it and you're all doing it together, then I can see that. But I mean, if you're just the only one sitting at a light, we pulled up in our car and there's people out there revving up their bike constantly at the stoplight. What are you doing? That's my question. What are you doing?
Why?
So the other thing we got, the last one we're going to talk about is that guy that starts that cold bike up and cranks it as loud as he can so everybody in the neighborhood can hear him. Once again, why are you doing it? So down here, give it those three answers. If you're one of those people that fall into those categories, tell us why. Tell us what you're thinking. And those of you that don't like loud pipes too loud, or if you got one of those buddies that have that pipe on his bike, or have no pipes on his bike, straight pipes, and he's rattling your brains all the time when you go riding, put a comment down there and let us know that there is other people out there that don't want the excessive noise. You know, we could live with it. It's not the big deal. We can walk away from things like that. You know, so it's not that it's going to kill us. But I mean, if it's somebody you're with on a regular basis, you definitely could have hearing problems, and we're all getting a little bit older. So maybe that's a question. Maybe somebody's can't hear very well and they can't hear their pipes running.
They think their pipes are just fine.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and leave you on this one right here. It's been a whole lot of things that we were just talking about, and it all boils down to loud pipes.
Excessively loud pipes.
Yes. So tell us what you think. We thank you for watching, and we're going to leave you with this.
Thanks for coming along today. Tell us what you think in the comments. Let's get this going. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
And we'll see you in a couple of days.